So before we go over the benchmarks in this gaming PC, I want to cover the parts that we ended up using. There is quite a bit of new things on the market. So first up is going to be the ASRock X870. Now, as far as the ports go for your computer, and the reason that I always look for the amount of USB ports is because I promise you, if you ever plan on getting into content creation, this is going to be a massive deal for you. We have a microphone, USB. We have a camera, USB. We have power for the camera, USB, which I did in fact figure out how to not need to plug it into the computer, but I can continue here. We have keyboard, USB. We have mouse, USB. We have second webcam, USB. We have Bluetooth controller, USB. Guess what? We have so many USBs. You want to transfer a file over to your phone? USB. So when it comes down to picking a motherboard, it really definitely is more so aimed at the USB ports. However, with that said, there's other things that do coincide with the motherboard, like how fast is the RAM you plan on getting? What type of CPU are you going to be getting? What generation of NVMe does it support, and do you plan on getting, etc.? For the most part, look, I'm fully aware that, yes, there's certain designs and certain speed, everything on the motherboard. This would be a 10-hour video if I went into everything, and to be completely honest, I don't understand every single aspect of the motherboard. However, the ASRock X870, it is going to support the DDR5 at 8,000 megahertz. With that said, 0% chance this works with 4 sticks, okay? I tried it, does not work. I got the highest end RAM for this, at least as far as I'm concerned, the most stable RAM. And yes, it does matter what brand RAM you get if you plan on doing any overclocking whatsoever. So you have to think about the CPU you're going to be getting, how that's going to be communicating with the memory, specifically with the X3D chips that AMD offers. I'm not sure about the 9800 X3D. The CPU we used in this is a 7800 X3D. So, motherboard. It's great. It has a ton of USB ports on it. It looks good for white computer builds. The memory, it supports 8,000 megahertz. I did get 4 sticks or 2 orders of the G-Skill DDR5 Ryzen 8,000 megahertz CL38, so it's not like it's like super speedy CL30 memory. The computer would not even boot, let alone putting it in a loop. It literally would not boot. Okay, so there's no way that, and to be fair, all of the X870 motherboards are having this problem. This is not just an ASRock issue, it is just a marketing thing that not only every company does it now. This is not, I'm not like, actually I kind of am. But at the same time, it's like, you can't really blame ASRock for this. You can't blame AMD for this. You can't blame Intel for doing it, NVIDIA doing it, Sony doing it, Microsoft doing it, Samsung doing it. Every company now with technology does this. It's kind of like GIGABYTE's new motherboard for the new Intel CPUs. They have this AI feature that it's going to overclock everything up to 35%. Or in other words, for people that haven't been on the internet for more than 5 years, that up to 35% means 1% of the time you will be getting a 35% increase, and the other 90% of the time you'll get like a 3 or 4% increase. That's just how marketing works. So very in-depth explanation of this motherboard, but I figured a lot of people would want to know about the motherboard since it is new. I do want to say that the one that I got personally does not have Wi-Fi on it, which is not a big deal for me. I don't care about Wi-Fi. Yes, I'm fully aware, oh, you're going to eventually want to use the Bluetooth. Have you ever even attempted to use the Bluetooth feature on a motherboard? All of them, Asus, MSI, ASRock, GIGABYTE, they're all terrible. None of them work good. You got a Bluetooth keyboard. If it does not come with its own dongle, you might as well not use the Bluetooth because it is terrible. They all are... Unless your computer's sitting right here, maybe it will. But dude, like with me, my computer being all the way over there, like this is like 6, 7 feet, maybe 8 feet max. and it does not work good. Okay, there's a delay with my keyboard, and all of them as well. It's not like this is me just testing a budget keyboard or a budget mouse or whatever, dude. Like, I've tested this with all of Logitech's products that are wireless, Razer's products that are wireless, Corsair's product. They're all delayed. Okay, it is just the Bluetooth that comes with motherboards. Real quick, just wanted to say that if you would like a PC from me, my Facebook business page is linked down in the description below. I do not charge you anything other than the cost of parts, which I do in fact give you a full list of everything with the final cost before I order it all with my own money. You do not pay me anything until you see the video, the performance, the benchmarks, and all of that kind of stuff. So again, link down in the description below. So the other parts in this computer, we have an RTX 4080, we got the 7800X3D, we have the G-Skill Trident DDR5 that's running at 8000 megahertz, we got a Samsung 990 Pro, which we're actually going to be using again for the 9950X build. We have a Lian Li Galahad Trinity AIO, we got, I never recommend this to people just because they're so they're just very expensive for what they are, okay? You have the Lian Li Uni fans that, whatever, I'm gonna go ahead and leave this for a moment here. And then we also have the Lian Li Edge 1000 watt power supply, and this is the only power supply that has cables that actually look nice, and I'm always blown away that other companies don't do this. Like, it's just, when I saw that, it was just the easiest sale. It was the easiest sale ever to just be like, oh my goodness, a power supply with cables that don't look disgusting. So, and to be fair, like, it's the only one that does this. And secondly, to any company that is still selling the power supplies with ketchup and mustard wires, why do those even exist? Like, why do they even exist? Period. I have no idea. Like, okay, so the AIO, the 7800X3D isn't the warmest CPU out there. Yes, fully aware it gets warm, but it's nothing even remotely close to a 14900K, 13900K, 14700K, 13700K. Not even remotely close to that. And I do like the way that Lian Li mounts, specifically this one. The other one does not have this. Unfortunately, you got to hook it over AMD's terrible design to mount an AIO. And I know anybody that's ever built a computer, you get the AMD little hooks, and you gotta figure out, okay, I gotta put my AIO on this one. Now I gotta figure out how to combobulate it to hook over the other one. Then I gotta press it down. Then I gotta screw it. Then I gotta screw it. Then I gotta screw. Oh, it's a little bit tight now. Oh, now I can actually do it. Oh, hey, is my thermal paste even remotely spread evenly? 0% chance it is. Dude, it's literally the worst design to mount an AIO ever. And unfortunately, a lot of AIOs use that. And the reason that they use that is because it's less parts and it costs them less to just hook it over those things. However, the reason I'm explaining this is because I actually prefer this over the way Intel's LGA 1700 mount. I love that, the way that mounts. But this is even better than that, because you take the four screw, you remove the little hook thing, the terrible design AMD did, and then you screw down your screws into where those were, and then there's a plate on the AIO that you just slide it up into Lian Li's the head of the thing, and then you just put it right up on over the CPU there, and then you're good to go from there. And it looks nice. You can clearly tell you're spreading the thermal paste under it evenly. It's very simple to do. You place it over, and the metal hooks, it doesn't, like, because when you put the thermal paste down, you can kind of you can get your AIO lined up to where you want it to go. And this is why I like it better than Intel's design. And you can just have it set there, and you're like, okay, everything is good. Now I can start screwing it down. And yes, to the super experienced computer builders, I get it. It's not that big of a deal. But dude, it's the small things that matter like this when you're building a computer. Like the Antec C8 case, as an example. Why do I get this over the Lian Li case? I know you go through this just as much as I. First of all, you do have the ability to install the push-pull fan on the 360mm because of the height of the top of the case. Secondly, Oh, they make it so easy if you do this. Are you ready for this? You screw your case fans down first before plugging in all of your wires, or you screw your AIO down before plugging in your power supply wires. Oh, you guys know just as well as I know, any other case you do this with, oh, you're about to have to remove your fans to plug your wires in. You're going to have to remove your AIO to plug your wires in, because if you don't, everything is like, it's going over the pins, so you can't plug the wire. I know you guys have done that, and it's so frustrating because it's like, so anyways, with that aside, I don't really remember why. So the AIO, great AIO, I highly recommend this if you like the design of Lian Li's fans. And since I got a little bit off topic there, the Lian Li Uni fans, the reason I don't recommend these, first of all, you need a extension specifically for it. So if you get an ASRock motherboard with G-Skill RAM and a Lian Li AIO plus Uni fans, guess what you're going, and an MSI graphics card, guess what's going to happen to you? You need MSI's application to control the RGB on your GPU. You need Lian Li's application to control the RGB of your Uni fans. You need Corsair's RGB application to control your Corsair AIO, and you also need ASRock's RGB application to control the RGB on your motherboard. So you now have 5 applications on your computer just to change the lights. Dude, I despise companies that do that to people. Okay, it's one of the main reasons I love ASUS motherboards and I love MSI's motherboards. ASUS specifically is very good with this. MSI would be second. GIGABYTE's, I don't like. I like ASRock's RGB application better than GIGABYTE's, honestly. I don't like, it's so slow and boggish. I don't like GIGABYTE's application at all. And then whatever other companies are out there, there's third-party companies that the motherboard's very important. It's like, it's where everything is connecting to. So like, I would never buy a third party, but I'm fully aware that those are out there. So yeah, that's the main reason I don't, and they're very expensive. So yeah, that's my whole point. So that's all of the parts inside of this computer. And the benchmark, because it was so long already, the benchmarks will have already been on screen for you. I didn't expect to do this in one take. I was going to just review the parts individually so that I could double dip with Amazon, but this is definitely going to be the YouTube version, so I don't really care. Let's actually cover the prices, since this is going to be the YouTube version and not the individual Amazon prices. So the case, 180 bucks, graphics card right now 1300 bucks. Be very careful with getting RTX 4080s on Amazon right now, because people are selling the 4080 and then they're sending the 4080 Super. This literally just happened to me twice. Okay, so be very, or the second time was a while ago, but it happened to me again. So it's happened to me twice within the past few months. And what's going to happen is you're going to get that 4080 Super, and one of two things is going to happen. You're either going to Google, is the 4080 Super better than the 4080? And Google is going to use its dumb AI bot and tell you that it is, when it isn't. Yes, it has better memory, faster this, faster that, more CUDA cores, and whatever. Okay, but listen, those are numbers on paper. That is not actual performance that your GPU is actually giving you. Okay, the 4080 is better than the 4080 Super. Listen, what do you, okay, this is a marketing thing. What we were just barely talking about at the beginning here, that is a marketing tactic from NVIDIA. I'm pretty sure the reason the 4080 Super does not perform better than the 4080 is because they skimped on the amount of power that it consumes. And dude, just use your common sense here. 4080, 1300 or 14, I mean $1,300. 4080 Super, 1,000. Do you really think NVIDIA would honestly sell a better GPU than the 4080 for $300 less? Think about what NVIDIA has done throughout their entire existence. They have never done that. Okay? There's a reason the 4080 is still more expensive than the 4080 Super. Dude, okay? So the 7800 X3D, I didn't get this while it was on sale, so I paid $500 for it. But Amazon is constantly having sales on the CPU, especially right now with the 9000 series CPUs out. ASRock motherboard, which we spent a ton of time on, and yeah, so recommend all of this stuff. Just be very careful with the 4080 if you buy a normal 4080 and you don't fall for NVIDIA's. To be fair, it is a much better value, 100%. I'm not going to argue that. You're paying $200 or $300 less for something that is pretty much the exact same thing and will get you better performance in some video games, okay? But when you buy a 4080 and you spend $200 or $300 more for a GPU, you expect to get that GPU. The only reason I said what I said is because I don't want you to fall for the trap of Googling something or the seller telling you that the 4080 Super is better, okay? And then if you argue with them, they're going to attempt to pay you for removing your negative review on them. Literally just happened to me, and I'm getting the guy banned because as an entrepreneur, that aggravates me that they're doing that to people. So yeah, that is my super long, in-depth explanation of the PC that you guys have already seen benchmarks on and that kind of stuff. I'm probably going to edit this down. It was wicked long, way more longer than my typical. But actually, you know what? I'm going to see how this performs because I don't really ever upload like super lengthy, whatever, PC build videos. So catch you guys in the next one. Peace. And by the way, so I need to update the ad for my PC building business. I was getting scammed a lot with people ordering PCs from, because I've been just buying all this stuff with my own money, and I would build it and make the video on it, and then I would send the video to whoever bought the computer from me. They could see it running, they could see it being benchmarked, tested, all the numbers on it, and all of that kind of stuff. And of course, I put lists together that had the prices of everything, like literally right there. And yes, I literally was gonna say the before each part because I was going to double dip it, like I said, off of YouTube and put it on Amazon. And I was just gonna split after each part, because then I can say the graphics cards we use, talk about it, and then the CPU we use, and then talk. And I could just cut individual part, but I'm gonna have to individually talk about these for Amazon. So my PC ad business, I almost forgot what I was talking about here. So I do charge a 10% security deposit now at this point. And the reason I'm doing that is so that you have something in that you can't just leave me with because my business is aimed at premium computers. Like so I'm not going to spend $4 grand on a computer and then have you tell me, oh, my electric bill was more this month, or I got a flat tire, or just completely ghost me altogether. Because that happened to me way too many times, dude, and I was just sick of it happening. All right, like I'm doing pretty well for myself on the financial side of stuff. So it's the whatever, the amount of money that I'm spending isn't a big deal for me. One, because I have enough to where that doesn't impact me. And then secondly, the computers are going to sell at some point anyways. So I don't really care. Even if I have to sell it for $200 or $300 less, I still make way more with the cash back on my credit card. I never leave a balance. That is free money to me. That is literally untaxable. Okay. And then I make the money from YouTube. I do not just have one channel on YouTube. I don't promote the other channels across the channels because that's terrible to do. It's one of the main reasons the vlog or car channel and the gaming channel are just, they're so bad as far as like views go. And then the other channels that I have a fraction of the following, but get thousands and if not tens of thousands more views than those. Okay. So, and it's because those were the first two channels that I started, and I made a lot of mistakes with those. But the gaming channel specifically, there's a reason I don't really upload to the vlog channel anymore or car channel, and it's because it just doesn't have that much sentimental value to me, and it's a waste of my time. And people can like think of me being a prick saying that and being ungrateful. Look, dude, imagine being an NBA star, okay? I'm being serious, or an NFL star, or whatever sport you enjoy. Imagine being like a professional athlete at whatever it is you like, okay? And then imagine holding an event where you get 1 million people to come and watch you, and then you hold another event where 2 million people come and watch you, and then you hold another event where 3 million people come and watch you, and then you hold another event and 30 people come and watch you, and then you hold another event and 20 people come and watch you, and then you hold another event and 50 people come and watch you. Dude, what that does to you mentally, think about what that would do to you. Would you like honestly tell, oh, you're so ungrateful that guy, that you're getting 50 people and you don't even care, when they just barely had millions of people coming and watching them? That has a big impact on your mental state. And I know we're not talking about anything in regards to computers at this point, but I'm just kind of rambling, having fun. So if you don't, whatever, you don't want to listen to me, then freaking go watch a different video. So like, that's why I don't upload on the vlogger card channel anymore, is because it's a waste of time. It just doesn't, it's not worth it to me. The reason I still upload on the gaming channel is because, dude, that has so much sentimental value to me. That channel, and I'm being dead serious with this, dude, that channel literally saved my life. I started that channel when I was dealing with the eating disorder, the bipolar stuff, the personality disorder, the anxiety, depression. And dude, like, I had, and I still have a bunch of problems, but not as bad as I used to. Like, if you go back, and I don't need to explain my life story here, but I found this game called Destiny. Okay, for those of you that are unaware, when that game first came out, there wasn't really anything else like it. It was one of its own at that point. And I, as a gamer, I thought that looked freaking awesome. I thought that looked really cool and fun. And because my camera's about to overheat, so I don't have a choice but to end the video. That's how long I've been. I'm gonna edit this down quick because there's no way you guys can watch a 40-minute video. So Destiny, when that first come out, it was like its own thing, okay? And dude, if it's not obvious, I struggle with autism, okay? Most people, it's kind of obvious that I struggle with that, all right? And because of, if it's not obvious, dude, you see how I act in my content. That is me being who I am. The reason every single video, I'm pretty much the exact same way, tweaking and freaking overreacting and just like laughing all the time. Dude, the reason I'm able to do that, because that's who I am. I'm not putting on a fake face to be entertaining for people. It's just who I am. But can you imagine having a 35-year-old friend like me? I'm 35 years old. Yes, fully aware I don't look it. Yes, fully aware I don't act it. Look, I was born in 1989. Hence why I always say I grew up with the Super Nintendo. That's not me like saying, oh, hey, I was living in 2000 and could only afford a Super Nintendo because it was 20 years old. Nah, dude, it's like, because all right. So I don't really know where, but anyway, okay, so with Destiny, dude, I grew like, because it was like one of its own thing, dude, that community when that game first came out was incredible. And anybody that actually, it's terrible now, but with Destiny 2, but anybody that started playing that game when it first came out will probably agree with me. I want to say the community with Destiny was so awesome for the first, I want to say probably like 2 years, man. And then once more, just like kind of how it happens with every game, once more people started playing it and they started announcing like more raids and more events and more this and more that, and then rightfully so, the people that were playing it for those years and Bungie pretty much catering the game to like new players and just kind of like forgot about their like long time players, the game wasn't fun anymore. It wasn't the game that had originally released. And then we all thought Destiny 2 was going to be fixed, and that game was like terrible for 2 years, which is why I stopped even uploading videos on it, because it was so bad. It was so bad. It was nothing like Destiny. And it's pretty cool now. But the thing is now that I have the businesses that I have and the channels that I have and doing everything that I do, I just don't have time to put into games like that anymore. And unfortunately, with games of that nature, in order to actually have fun with, which I'm not saying you can't just hop in a chat and talk with your buddies and do whatever, run around the planets. You can definitely do that, but for the most part, you kind of need to be spending a lot of time in those games, because if you don't, you can't do raids with your friends because you're not a high enough level. You can't do Trials of Osiris, if that is even a thing in the game still, because you're not a high enough level. And it's like, you can't do the Nightfall again. Yeah, Nightfall with friends, because you're not a high enough level. And the things in the game that are actually worth doing and fun for the person that does put a lot of time into it, they don't want to like run around a beginner strike just so that you can. And I'm not saying this applies to everybody. There's of course friends that will do this with you, but I'm guessing that the friend that is helping you isn't having the like most enjoyable experience. My camera's about to die. So you get my point, dude. I warned everybody that the I really got super. I'm actually gonna upload the majority of this. This was a really long video. It's almost an hour at this point, 50 minutes. But let me know if you guys like that. I know dude, the amount of times I've said I was gonna end this video. So the reason I'm actually going to show you this. This is the next computer that we're going to be building here. We have Corsair. We have another Lee & Lee power supply. We have then this stuff down here. This is the new Asus X870, which I am going to compare to that ASRock one. Oh, so the reason I don't record the full computer builds anymore is because, look, okay, again, YouTube, I love YouTube. I'm not saying this to complain or anything, but there's things that you really enjoy and that you love. And I made the mistake of creating videos on every single thing that I did. Cars. I don't really have a passion for cars anymore because of YouTube. Gaming. I still like to play retro games, but like the newer, I just don't really have that drive or love for it anymore. And I noticed the same thing happening with my computer thing. The animation channel and the AI channel, the reason I sold those, it had nothing to do with me not enjoying them. The reason I sold the AI channel and the reason that I sold the animation channel is because I'm aware that those would in fact become a waste of time. Because animation, now you're going to be able to freaking put in a prompt, make my cartoon, and poof, there it is. Okay, and then the AI news, it was an AI news channel, and just kind of like my gaming and PC channel, just covering news. But it's like you start seeing all this competition, and it's just like, this is going to die out. Because, and the reason I didn't like not stop with the gaming channel or the PC channel is because you can, at least for me, dude, I hate it when I go to a video and I can tell it's like made by AI. I despise that. Okay, I've always been, it's like you go to look up some like, oh, is this food good for you, and you got this iRobot talking and tell. It's like, dude. So anyways, yeah, I'm gonna end the video now. And so that was happening with the, oh my god, I'm actually going to end it this time. So that was happening with the PC stuff, and I was just like, it wasn't giving me the love of building a computer. And it wasn't, because I was having to focus on recording, and I was having to focus on showing you the item before I put it in the computer, and focusing on angling the camera so that you can see me screwing down a fucking screw. And dude, that's not fun for me. I like to build the computer. I don't like to place my camera and have to rewire everything, and that was not fun for me. And I wasn't going to do that. So that's why I do the computer builds the way I do now. I show you the parts that I'm going to be using. I might have a little bit of B-roll of the camera just like pointing at the computer as I build it, or just showing you it during the process of building it, but not like building the entire computer. Okay. And then I do the benchmarks for you, and it all turned on. That's why I do the computer builds the way I do it now, is because it was not fun for me to do the entire thing. So I'm going to end the video actually this time. Peace.